4 steps to humanely euthanize your pet fish with clove oil. A painful but occasionally required part of any animal healthcare is euthanasia. Many of the techniques that aquarists often utilize to put fish to sleep have drawn harsh criticism from scientists and veterinarians who claim the procedures are sluggish and unpleasant. The 2 major uses of euthanasia are the merciful killing of seriously deformed or injured fish, especially fry, and the relief of the agony of seriously ill fish. To know more about why there is a need for euthanizing, you must watch the entire video to learn more about this. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and activate the ring to be the first to see the next more exciting videos like this. Euthanasia is a decision to terminate your fish's pain compassionately if it's in trouble. Losing a cherished pet may be extremely devastating, particularly if you have done all you can to care for him. Your fish is dying and in pain despite all of your efforts to bring it back to life. Although euthanasia is an alternative for a fish, a lot of people are unaware of it. Nonetheless, if your fish is suffering and is losing its life, you may want to give it some thought. Still, few individuals choose euthanasia as the first option, but rather allow nature to deal with the fish naturally and let it pass away. There are 2 options: either follow this path or decide to go more quickly to protect your pet. Most people base their decisions on how well the fish is doing in its final days. Fish euthanasia comes in a variety of forms, many of which are discussed below in order of preference. These approaches are separated into old school and more recent humane approaches. The most widely used techniques among fish enthusiasts are the old-fashioned ones, particularly for those who were unable to devote much time to learning about euthanasia choices. But these are old-fashioned techniques, and generally speaking, these are not the most humanitarian solutions possible. Applying the sparkles freeze. A popular technique for killing warm water fish is freezing. Freeze water in a tiny bag until it turns into slush to freeze fish. After that, submerge your fish in the water and keep it frozen. However, some believe the fish must be uncomfortable in some way while employing this approach. Among all the old-school techniques, this one looks the cruelest. The only way the American Veterinary Medical Association, AVMA, would approve of cooling would be to deep freeze an animal that is previously under heavy anesthesia. They do not support freezing fish as a viable means of euthanasia. Quick and certain decapitation. This technique is quite straightforward. You just take the fish out of the water and cut off its head with a sharp knife to terminate its life. When you cut into it with the knife, the fish may feel something, even if it's just a little ache. As long as you don't pause once you begin the task, this strategy is at least speedy. The AVMA thinks that if this is first used with anesthesia, it may be acceptable. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a byproduct of respiration and is found naturally in the water that your fish inhabit. Because adding carbon dioxide to the water lowers oxygen levels and causes your fish to choke, it may also be utilized as a means of fish euthanasia. One common way to release carbon dioxide in water is to use Alka-Seltzer. This technique might sound harmless enough, but the majority of those who have done it report that their fish somewhat thrashed about as though they were out of water. To make sure the fish dies, you might need to freeze it or decapitate it thereafter. Neck snapping. Some individuals smack the fish on the kitchen counter or over a hard surface, covering it beforehand with a plastic bag, and manage to successfully snap its neck. Decapitation is a better approach than snapping the neck, since it would be a more definite way to cut the neck. Other possible strategies to euthanize fish. The euthanasia techniques mentioned above are the ones that the typical aquarium enthusiast most frequently uses to put their fish to sleep. Let's talk about other fish euthanasia techniques. When compared to at home, the majority of these techniques are far more frequent in veterinary and academic settings. Death from anesthesia overdose, tricane methane sulfonate, TMS. This technique is the most probably used by those with extensive expertise in compassionately ending fish lives, for example, in university experiments. TMS is also referred to as MS-222, and Finquil is its commercial name. You may euthanize a fish by simply doubling the usual amount used to anesthetize it. The FDA has authorized this chemical for anesthesia and fish euthanasia. It is the only product with this approval. You cannot purchase benzocaine hydrochloride for your fish over the counter. Instead, a veterinarian must prescribe it. The AVMA recommends using benzocaine hydrochloride rather than benzocaine alone. Since acetone and ethanol might irritate fish tissue, benzocaine must be diluted with water as it is not soluble in it. Clove oil method. Clove oil is often recommended by fish keepers as a means of sedating fish. Clove oil must be used to first anesthetize them before you can kill the fish with another technique. Clove oil can also be given to them in such a great concentration that the fish will die from the clove oil alone. With a clove oil bottle on hand, let's do the merciful death of your fish by following these instructions. First step, grab your fish. Fill your bucket with aquarium water. Most fish only require a gallon, but bigger fish may require more. Once the fish is caught, put it in the container. Try to be as nice and stress-free as you can. Second step, blend the clove oil. It is not yet time to add your clove oil. Look, this is an oil, and it would just float on the water's top if you add it today. So, pick up a little container. Pill containers are ideal. Add 4 drops of clove oil to the container after adding water from your tank to it. For fish smaller than 4 inches in length, use more drops. For larger fish, use more. Close the lid and shake vigorously until the water becomes a clear white color. The clove oil is now blended well. Third step, include the mixture of clove oil. Stirring carefully with your hand, slowly pour the clove oil mixture into the container containing the fish. The creamy mixture seems to be evenly distributed across the container. It should take a few minutes for your fish to stop moving. It may collapse entirely. However, it's not quite dead, it's just knocked out. The gills on your fish should still be moving if you examine them attentively. This is a clear indication that the fish has been laid to sleep. After 5 minutes, if your fish is still swimming around, add a few more drops of the clove oil mixture. Step 4. Increase the dosage. It's time to give your fish a permanent resting place now that he is asleep. Remove a little amount of water from the fish container and then add 12 drops of the clove oil combination. Shake it up again till the clove oil is well distributed. Now, add the mixture of clove oil to the container containing the fish and then wait. Less than 30 minutes should pass before the gills of your fish cease moving. The fish has been effectively put down if its gills remain still for 10 minutes. Add extra mixture if, after 30 minutes, you can still notice gill movement. While it may take some time, many specialists in aquatic life believe that this is the most humane and ethical way to end the life of an injured or sick fish. Be advised, you should stick to utilizing clove oil and forego this second option if you have unsteady hands or an upset stomach. Quick recap. If the technique is suggestive of killing fish, decapitation with clove oil and brain crushing would be the most merciful because they put an end to the fish's existence right away. Let's get into a quick recap of ways to euthanize fish humanely. A popular technique for killing warm water fish is freezing. Dosing with prescribed anesthetics to euthanize a fish. Neck snapping and carbon dioxide methods can also be used. The clove oil method seems to be the most effective way to euthanize a fish. Clove oil at a high dosage is a sedative that can be cast off to euthanize small fish. The clove oil method is based on 4 steps. First step, grab your fish. Second step, blend the clove oil. Third step, include the mixture of clove oil. Step 4, increase the dosage. It's probably time for your fish to go if you're searching for a gentle way to end its life. However, before you bid your pet fish farewell, be sure you've opted for all potential paths for preserving its life. The least painful method of euthanizing fish at the moment is to use clove oil, so try that if all else fails. Next, give yourself some time to be grateful for your fish's life and everything that it has given you. Please leave a comment below with your opinions on this. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the bell button if you enjoyed this video to get notifications when new ones are added. All for today, thank you.